Evening first. Thank you for gifting us some of your Friday night. We know that Friday night have a lot of more exciting things to do, but thank you for being here. At this point, let me recognize the presence of the Honorable Irvin McIntyre, Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau Valley constituency, the Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, Minister for Tourism, other honorable members of Cabinet, Ms. Lisa Palmon, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Chair of the Trafalgar Village Council, also Mr. Randall Glegg, Project Manager of the Cable Car, Dr. Colin McIntyre, in his capacity as Project Manager of Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, Ms. Janice Hippolyte, Administrative Director of Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, and Ms. Josiah Brown, Tourism Consultant. Tourism community groups, community stakeholders, constituents of the Roseau Valley, members of the media, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. This evening we are here in the tourism basket of Dominica, also known as Laudat Village. And as you know, this consultation meeting is to discuss the many projects happening in the valley right now. Projects to include the Cable Car project and the Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort. However, before we dive into the meat of the meeting, I'd like to call on Mr. Albert Noel to start us off with a prayer.
Good evening all. Can we stand to have Heavenly Father, as we come before you this evening, we want to thank you for giving us the health, life, and strength. We want to thank you for giving us this travel mercies here to attend this very important meeting tonight. Heavenly Father, we want to ask you to shower your blessings on those who will be presenting here tonight, and that the discussion here tonight will be a very fruitful one and a meaningful one, and will, in the end, be very beneficial to the community of Laudat and by extension the Roseau Valley. We want to thank you that you may lay your hands on each and every one of the visitors here tonight, and that we may take the discussion, part of the discussion tonight, and we may also contribute and ask you to, at the end of this meeting, that you give traveling mercies back to our homes. In your name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Noel. I would now like to call on the Honorable Irvin McIntyre to present the welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Dr. George. Let me first recognize Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, our Minister for Tourism, my other members of Cabinet, Mr. Defoe, Honorable Defoe as well, our Permanent Secretary, Lisa Valmore, Ministry of Tourism, Dr. George, our chairperson here tonight, Chair of the Trafalgar Village Council, Mr. Randy Gledge, Project Manager, Cable Car Project, and Dr. McIntyre, who's representing the Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, Janice Hippolyte, our Administrative Director, Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, Josiah Brown, Tourism Consultant, the tourism community groups, community stakeholders, constituents from the Roseau Valley, members of the media, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, pleasant good evening to everyone gathered tonight. Well, my job is simple. I'm just supposed to welcome everyone here tonight. But tonight's meeting, well, let me just thank everyone for coming. But tonight's meeting is really a very important meeting where the developers engage with the community, which is essential. because, knowledge is power. We have to share the different information, because in the absence of information, ignorance will prevail. So it's good that we can reach out and to let the information come from both sides. But what we have to recognize is what's going on in our Roseau Valley constituency, and Laudat, to be specific, is we have our cable car project going on very well, and we have the Sanctuary Resort going on very well. But we also must appreciate that we cannot see those things in isolation. They form part of a bigger picture. They form part of a bigger economic infrastructure, which is what we're developing in Dominica now. So, for instance, during the cable car project, our cable car project, this is part of all the whole development that the Ministry of Tourism is doing in terms of developing our tourism product, which the minister will speak about later. Then when we think of the Sanctuary Rainforest Resort, this is all part of accommodation for the hundreds and thousands of tourists that will be coming eventually when the international airport is built. So access is being dealt with, so that with all of this access and all the different visitors coming to our shores, we need to have rooms and hotels to accommodate them. But we have to look a little further in that accommodation for one, because we have increased access. Isolation, and we have to appreciate that nothing is done in a haphazard manner. Everything has been planned. So from the geothermal point of view, that is the energy aspect of the development, which would make us more attractive in attracting foreign direct foreign investment, and obviously lowering our tariffs. And we also know that the cost of energy is maybe the highest to run any production, any factory, any development. So that handles this part. The sanctuary handles the accommodation part, and then the cable handles the part of having a proper tourism product. Now, when you put all of this together, what you have to recognize is the opportunities that will come from all of these. Because when we have this increased tourists, with all the increased access that we're getting, they're going to need food, they're going to need entertainment, they're going to need transportation. So this is where, when we repeatedly say that we should get ready and we should prepare ourselves, these are the different opportunities that we should prepare ourselves with by getting ready. But us at a meeting here alone cannot do it. So when we're done here tonight, what I would wish is that we get back to our different hamlets, and then we spread the news of what's been happening. Because too often, people are not aware of what's happening, and people don't understand, and they're not seeing the bigger picture of what is going on. But everything is connected, and there's a bigger picture to this, and that is what lays the opportunities. The hotel is going to need lots of people. They're going to need people to cook, they're going to need people to clean, they're going to need the IT people, they're going to need entertainers. Where are they going to get it from? It's from us, from the Roseau Valley. So rather than us sometimes just look at things in isolation, and some of us may have that little negative thing, this is not about us and them. This is all about us. This is just about the Roseau Valley and for Dominica. So we have to put our little differences aside, look at the bigger picture, and see the opportunities for all of us to develop as one, as a country. And to me, that is where we should focus ourselves, that is where our energy should be in, that is where we should talk to each other, communicate with each other, and help people to see the opportunities that are available. Because some of us here might be able to see the opportunities, others might not be able to, and they just need a little push just to explain to them. Last time when I gave the example, I was saying Laudat is ideal for ginger lilies and anthuriums. Somebody might have some little half acre of land, quarter of acre land that they might not be using. That is where greenhouse comes in. The hotel going to need flowers. All the other hotels going to need flowers, not just this one. So the opportunities are endless. Last time in Trafalgar, I was saying a laundry. Laudat need a couple of laundries. This is a cold place, it's a damp place. You're going to have all these tourists coming. They're going to need a laundry. So people have to start thinking outside the box. We definitely don't have enough restaurants in Laudat. People are going to need places to eat. So, and then you have to look, you might say, well, okay, financing, look. Well, that is exactly why we put $30 million at the aid bank. So people go to the aid bank, you get your loan, you start your business. To me, that is how we have to start thinking. rather than we wait later down, and then when other people get the jobs, then we start to complain that we're foreigners getting the jobs. But we have to prepare ourselves. So at almost every five-star hotel here in Dominica, it's a foreign chef. These are those areas we have to start. So we have to start thinking, and we have to start educating each other, and we have to start preparing ourselves for this big boom that is going to start taking place. So this is the process. The product will come. So let us just embrace the product. Let us just see we're all part of the product. And if we can do this, I think we're on the correct track. We're definitely on the correct track if we can just embrace all what's been going on, what the government is doing. It's a well-planned stuff. We're doing the infrastructure and all of that together with it. We're doing the energy. We're doing the digitalization. Everything is interconnected. What is missing now is for us, the people, to take the opportunity and grab this opportunity, and let's make the best out of it. So these are my few words in my welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Minister, for so clearly articulating the opportunities that are now available and becoming available that we could take advantage of to see the development of Laudat. I would now like to call on the Minister for Tourism, Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, for the opening remarks.
Thank you. It's so cold in Laudat. Let us warm up the room a bit. Honorable Irvin McIntyre, Parliamentary Representative, Roseau Valley Constituency. Honorable Jolan Defoe, Minister of Fisheries. Ms. Lisa Valmon, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism. Dr. Coulson George, Vice President, Laudat Village Improvement Committee, and other members. Chair of the Trafalgar Village Council, Mr. Randall Gligli, Project Manager, Cable Car Project, Ms. Janice Hippolyte, Administrative Director, Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, Ms. Jose Brown, Tourism Consultant, Tourism Community Groups, Community Stakeholders, constituents from the Roseau Valley constituency, ladies and gentlemen, the media, good evening. It is a pleasure to be in the Roseau Valley, the wealth, health and wellness capital, and one of Dominica's most treasured tourism hubs. I want to thank your parliamentary representative, Dr. McIntyre, for inviting us, and you for being valued partners in the ongoing development of our tourism sector. The purpose of this consultation is twofold. First, to share vital information on critical projects that will directly impact tourism in the Roseau Valley, and second, to hear from you, the community members, business owners, and stakeholders. Your insights, recommendations, and concerns are invaluable as we work together to enhance the visitor experience and ensure that tourism development benefits you directly. We are committed to ensuring that you are well-informed, well-positioned, and fully supported in developing your tourism offerings into marketable packages. Whether you are involved in accommodations, tours, wellness services, culinary experiences, or adventure tourism, we want to see you thrive. So much is happening in Roseau Valley. Apart from your natural gems, you have the Cable Car Project, soon to be completed, Sanctuary Eco Resort, soon to be opened, geothermal plant, and we have plans to upgrade some key tourism facilities. What this translates to is more visitors, particularly more stayover and cruise visitors, which equals more money circulating in your space. So, I am happy that we have engaged Jose Brown, our tourism consultant, who is assisting us in preparing our industry for growth. One of our most critical deliverables is to advise and train you on how to harness our resources to have packages that attract different types of visitors. So you have packages for solo visitors, people who come here by themselves, families, people with children, adventure seekers, people who want to relax or rejuvenate, or detox packages. But you will hear directly from her. That is her expertise. So I encourage you to share your thoughts so we can address challenges, explore opportunities, and chart the way forward together. Dominica is one of the most desired destinations in the world. This government is doing its part in increasing access to our destination, investing in key capital projects, and marketing Dominica to the world. When the international, as Dr. McIntyre said, when the international airport is complete, the marina, cable car, and all other developments, it is going to transform Dominica. So, this is Dominica time. This is your time. So together with your PALREP, we have to ensure that you are ready to take advantage of the opportunities now and ahead. So we are ready to work with all tourism groups and small tourism enterprises. We have a vacation rental seminar next week, Wednesday, at the Parish Hall. So I hope to see all those in the accommodation sector present at that seminar. All I ask is to remember, Dominica is a nature island of the world. So we have to adopt eco-friendly practices and ensure that every visitor to Dominica has a superb experience. So I look forward to the dialogue. And I heard that, by the way, Laudat has the best pizza on island. I'm just finding this out. So I hope before I leave here, I can have a slice of that pizza. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Charles. I hope you can have a slice of the pizza too. Maybe that will be part of our tourism product, the best pizza in Dominica. At this time, we would like to call on Mr. Randall. Well-known Mr. Randall in Laudat is basically a citizen of Laudat by now. Mr. Randall.
Thank you, Doctor. Well, I'd go through the list of everyone, but ladies and gentlemen, nice to be here. I do kind of feel like a resident of the community. I haven't helped birth any children here. I've helped bury a few, and I've herded a few animals, and so anyway, thanks for accepting me into your community. I worked with a lot of you. There's 3 Bernards here I see tonight. Well, that's great. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for opening your community to us. So anyway, I'll just go through a short presentation that ABL Holdings has put together for me to present here for you. We are constructing the world's longest detachable monocable car. That's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, what that means is it's by monocable, there's one cable that circulates on the machine, and on that cable are multiple cabins that carry the people. And the overall length from the Bayak station to the Grand Soufriere Hills past the Boiling Lake is 6.6 kilometers, which makes it the world's longest single section cable car. So anyway, we're kind of proud about that, and it's quite something to have happen on this island. Number 2, the project is a partnership between ABL Holdings and the government of Dominica. We're unconnected. So my facility here is I'm managing the construction of the cable car project, the project in total. I'm not involved in the operation of the car, so once everything is done, you'll have to come and visit me in British Columbia, okay? So I'm putting this as a bit of a disclaimer in that when you have questions about the operation, I can tell you what I know about what the company is planning to do, but I can't give you all the answers. As far as questions, am I going to be able to supply 6 buses to transport people, and will I be able to have a chance to open a restaurant in the facility? So I'll do as good a job as I can to answer any questions, but primarily I can help you understand the components of the construction, and I think a lot of that it gives you some insight into what's going to happen. So sorry for the long disclaimer. The project is a partnership between the government of Dominica and ABL Holdings. The project, or the cable car itself, I hear many people say cable cart. Drives me crazy. This is a car, okay? And we have many cars. It's not a cart. Okay, there you go. This transforms a 6-hour hike into a 22-minute scenic ride. If you can get to the Boiling Lake and back in 6 hours, you've done quite well. 22 minutes is one direction. It actually will be, anyway, it'll be about 22 minutes when you get on and when you get off. So there's no intermediate stops. Once you get on, you ride to the other end where you get off. And the machine always keeps running, but it slows down when you get to the other end, and then the doors will open, and you can very calmly alight and go and view the facilities, or the parrot and so forth up at the top. So the intention of the cable car is to boost tourism and accessibility to Boiling Lake. We are not bringing people to the Boiling Lake. We're bringing people to have a view of the Boiling Lake, and you will get off near the Boiling Lake, but we are not, the intention of this cable car is not to bring people to the Boiling Lake. It would just ruin it completely, and that's absolutely not what this project is trying to do. The operation will probably grow into where there will be some walking trails that will provide access for people who can only walk a little bit to be able to walk somewhere close so they can see the lake, smell it perhaps, if the wind's blowing the wrong way. For others, they'll be able to, get adventurous and walk down, join the Boiling Lake Trail, and complete the tour that way. So maybe they want to ride one way, have a guide take them to the lake. That's a possibility. But I just wanted to make that real clear. We are not trying to bring people, hordes of people, to the Boiling Lake, because that would just destroy that wonderful natural feature. The route is in the Roseau Valley to the Boiling Lake. We're providing a modern gondolas. By gondolas, that's the car itself. And you have 10 people are able to sit down in the car. So when you get into the car, it's a full height door. You can walk in. You don't have to duck down to get in. You stand in there, you make yourself comfortable, pick your seat, you sit down. There's spacious windows, ventilation. Eco-friendly construction with minimal impact on the environment. So in the engineering stage, we pick locations for all of the permanent structures to go in places where we're going to have the most minimal impact on the environment in those areas. And construction is always messy, so right now, you're seeing a lot of open dirt where we're working in that, but once we're done, the areas that we've disturbed are very small. They'll grow back. We'll replant some vegetation, and the impact is quite minimal for this size of project. The operations are smooth and safe for visitors. Smooth. This particular machine that ABL has chosen is the most state-of-the-art in the world. Doppelmayr has worked now for the last about 8 years to develop a machine that reduces vibrations, which cause noise. They have made everything bigger so that you have more comfort in the cabins. which results in a safer ride in windy conditions and so forth. As far as safety goes, you may ask the question, what happens if the power goes out when I'm halfway there? We have full backup diesel-generated electricity, which will cut in and take over the operation, so there will be a minimal shutdown period. You may ask what happens if the gearbox fails. We have on this machine, each end of the cable car has a separate drive system that you can manually engage a hydraulic motor with gearbox into the big driving wheel, and then you can turn the complete machine with either one of those things. Each tower has emergency spare parts on the towers, so the claim to fame for Doppelmayr, the manufacturer of this car, is that there is no situation where you have to evacuate people out of the cabins. It may take an hour or 2 or 3, but the cars will be able to come back to the stations and people will be able to comfortably and safely be taken care of. So that's the safe part of it. Bottom station area will be having spacious car parking. We've built parking lots in 2 levels there that will have be able to accommodate approximately 100 of the Dominica-style buses. So that we're hoping that's going to accommodate the present and also future primarily cruise ship traffic coming up and in. So, okay, key features. We talked about the world's longest monocable car being 6.6 k's long. Ecotourism and sustainable development. It's quiet. It uses electricity, which you're going to produce here on the island. So, that's, I guess I don't really know how to talk too much about ecotourism and sustainable development, but it's something, this thing is built to last. You have energy available here, so I would beg that that plays into the sustainable development plan. I can attest to breathtaking scenic views. There are breathtaking scenic views available on this ride. It's fantastic. Right from when you get on at Bayak, you come out, you go over Mont Jack, and you see the whole Trafalgar open up in front of you. You go right next to the waterfalls, and then you go over the the gorge and the old suspension bridge and over Mount Nichols, and then the whole Valley of Desolation opens up in front of you, and Boiling Lake to your left, and then the Atlantic Ocean shows up. It's phenomenal. So it'll be fun. Modern infrastructure and safety, we discussed that. Economic and tourism boost. I think the fine folks up here at the table can attest to those things. Car parking, bottom station features, car parking, spacious parking area for visitors. Ticket office where guests can purchase or collect tickets. So in the main building on the left of that picture is the building that will house the machinery for the cable car itself. Underneath that building is a large hall where all of the 65 cabins will be taken off the cable at nighttime and stored inside underneath the loading platform. Then also in that area are administration offices and a ticket office. So that'll be, people can interact with that. I'm not sure how the operation will be, whether it'll be, online ticket sales only but anyway, there's provision for a ticket office. Gift shop, it'll be set up like a typical tourist attraction where you see the attraction and then you have the opportunity to exit through the gift shop. So that's also the situation here. There will be food stalls available for local vendors at the bottom station. and they will have, we're going to construct separate buildings for local vendors. So it's not going to be unlimited, but there will be ability for local vendors to set up and sell food. Light preparation facilities like power and water will be available to each of the kiosks. And then at the bottom station, ABL, or Cable Car Dominica, is planning to only sell small things like water bottles, peanuts, chocolate bars, something like that, you know, if somebody wants to have a quick snack while they ride up. But the intention is to leave the bottom station area open for local vendors to be able to sell their wares. At the top station, there will be a full-service restaurant, and that's where the cable car it hopes to make some additional money from the functions. Restaurants, restrooms, and waiting area, comfortable space for visitors before boarding. We have a large restroom building with totally modern restroom facility there. We recognize the fact that people will get off the buses coming from the town or from wherever they are, and first thing you're always looking for is a washroom. So that's going to be set up nicely. Health and safety office, we're including a small triage area. Is triage the right word? Yeah. So if there's an incident, somebody has a medical condition, there will be a facility in that building for them to be treated. Top station features, we have we're going to install a restaurant there. It'll be serve meals with stunning panoramic views. That'll be a full service restaurant, sit down dinners. We recognize that a lot of times tours like to just have the set amount of time. You know, you maybe have an hour and a half for your tour. So for those, it'll be, you'll take your 22 minutes up. Maybe you want to go out, do a quick look around, have a beer or something at the bar and get on. But for those who want to actually spend some time, there will be a full service restaurant up there. And it may, lend to some convention and facilities, weddings, things like that as well. The views on days like today are really nice. You can see the Atlantic Ocean and you can see the Caribbean Sea. The Cicero parrot statue, which is on its way over here, it's going to be quite a feature. I'm not going to spill too many beans about that, but it's going to be mounted up. I think it'll be an iconic thing where, you know, it'll be, okay, did you get your picture taken by the parrot? And it's representing Dominica's national bird. And then we also have a two lovebird statue that's going to be mounted in the tourist area at the top station. Romantic spot, great for photos and couples. So that'll be a kind of a fun thing as well. There's not a huge amount of room at the top station, so it'll be somewhat limited when people get off, you know, to look around. So we're going to provide these two nice features up there, as well as, you know, the views off the decks and so forth. So I think it'll be nice. And then walking trails and seating areas, spaces to relax and enjoy the surroundings. And I mentioned briefly about the potential of walking trails out to where you can actually see the boiling lake. From the top station, you do not have a direct view of the water in the boiling lake. You can see the steam rising, and you can see the general area. For me, the Valley of Desolation is far more beautiful than the boiling lake itself. I mean, the boiling lake is a phenomenal attraction. But that Valley of Desolation, the colors that you see in there, I mean, you won't be able to absorb that all from the cable car features, but the colors in that Valley of Desolation are, hopefully, you know, people will see it in the centers, you know, the interpretive center and so forth, and, you know, the pictures of that, and hopefully it draws people back so that you, maybe for those that can go for a walk, they can go down in there and see the colors, like the blacks and the grays and the brilliant greens and purples that are in that Valley of Desolation are quite something. I really like to walk in there more than the Boiling Lake. Jobs currently, just a bit about what's going on right now. We've got about 300 people working on the project right now. Next slide, please. So this is something that ABL has put in about the future. At least 150 people will be employed directly post-completion. Many more employment opportunities will be generated indirectly. Roles will be operators, technicians, customer service, security, management, health and safety, and many more. Long-term career growth opportunities. So I can tell you that in Canada, we have quite a number of trades that revolve directly around cable car operations and construction. So people will make a lifetime career of being a mechanic on the cable car. There's a lot of things that need to be done. Electricians to look after the controls on the cable car. And then in the operations, it's a very specific talent to be able to operate a complete system like this, dealing with staffing, weather conditions, winds, forecasting hurricanes if it has to be that way, and tourist scheduling and so forth. There's a lot of very skilled positions in what's coming here to operate, and it's not something that just runs by itself. So I think there's going to be quite a few opportunities. For the community, tour guides enhance visitor experience, small businesses, local food stalls, craft vendors, souvenir shops, transportation services will be increased demand for taxis and shuttles. I would agree with all of those things based on my experience in other parts of the world after things like this happen. Creating jobs and not taking away. After completion, Cable Car Dominica will create more jobs than taking it away. It strengthens the local economy and empowers Dominicans through sustainable tourism. Generally, when you bring something in, it flourishes everything around it. There may be a short period of time where, okay, the captive market comes to the cable car instead of going to the Emerald Pool. But the reality of it is that there's going to be more coming for everything. So if you like more, there's going to be more. And in my experience around the world, I never see where there's a good attraction that it suffers because another one is opened up next to it. It's just the way it is. Conclusion and future impact. Tourism boost attracts more visitors, enhancing Dominica's appeal. Economic growth creates jobs and supports local businesses. Sustainability, eco-friendly transport aligns with green goals. Future expansion, potential for more infrastructure and connectivity. Thank you very much. Sorry, there's 4 Bernards here now. One came in late.
Okay. Thank you, Randall. I'm sure Laudat a little warmer than British Columbia, so you might want to reconsider. Exactly. And let me volunteer for the first test. Thank you again for your presentation. The people standing on the outside and at the back, we have available seats, so if you could make your way forward and a little more comfortable. Yes. So, at this point, I would like to call on Ms. Janice Hippolyte, Administrative Director of Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, to give us a word.
Honorable Irvin McIntyre, Parliamentary Representative for the Roseau Valley constituency, Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, Minister for Tourism, other honorable members of Cabinet, Ms. Valmont, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Dr. Coulson George, Vice President, Laudat Village Improvement Committee and other members, Mr. Randall Gliage, Project Manager of the Cable Car Project. Did I break it? Ms. Josie Brown, Tourism Consultant, Tourism Community Groups, Community Stakeholders, constituents of the Roseau Valley Community Constituency, members of the media, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good evening. I bring you very warm, you need it. It's a bit chilly up here. Warm greetings from the team at Vital Developers. We are the project development company responsible and engaged with the construction of the Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort and Spa. And we are very pleased that the Ministry of Tourism has invited us and given us this opportunity to meet you, because we are partners with you in this amazing opportunity that we are presented with at this time. We are on the peak of growth in Dominica, and one of the best places that this growth is engaged in, it's happening right now, is in the Roseau Valley. So I'm here sharing with you, the residents, the stakeholders of the Roseau Valley, as part of the major development projects coming up right here in your backyard. So, if we could please just be aware that on the screen you will see the latest update of the construction of the resort. So this video is available on our YouTube channel, which you can visit at any time. Resort, a 5-star resort nestled in the tranquil bosom of the rainforest at Providence Estate in Laudat. It commenced in March 2021 and has been ongoing and progressing steadily towards its completion. The current target date of opening is between the end of November 2025 to March 2026. An exact date is not yet available at this time, because it is a little difficult in Dominica to predict anything with firm, so closer we will update you. You may be aware that the villas are of a bespoke design. They are charmingly unique, specially designed to enhance the guest's experience of truly connecting and inhabiting the rainforest, while at the same time sparing no aspect of luxury and providing every comfort imaginable. Perhaps if you have been in the Middleham Falls area, you will notice that the huts, the villas, are very unique. You may have not seen anything like it before. And this is what we're bringing to you, residents, everyone at Laudat, something that mimics what you have in your backyard every day. The guests will be able to experience what it is to be truly connected to the rainforest and to nature. Our aspiration at Sanctuary is to become a place of discovery for body, mind, soul for our guests. A place which delivers the best atmosphere for renewal, rejuvenation, and healing. It will offer an opportunity to connect with Mother Earth in the truest way possible. Sanctuary will be a sanctuary, allowing guests to boost their own innate healing power to achieve physical and mental well-being and to enable them to become their best self. This dream, very, very soon, will become a reality. In this regard, the resort is very aptly placed in the nucleus of Dominica's richest forest zone, the Valley. Nestled in this scenic area of the island, the pristine, unpolluted environment, the majestic mountains as a backdrop, the beautiful flora and fauna, it completes everything needed to make Sanctuary a unique experience. And to ensure this, the resort will boast the best facilities, which include, but not limited to, a yoga center for mindful meditation. For physical restoration, there will be available a top-class gym, spa with sauna and hammam, 4 treatment rooms, for indoor pools and a plunge pool, an outdoor swimming pool, it will be heated, and a plunge pool. There will be a restaurant which will seat 130 persons at least. There will be conference rooms and boutiques. And there will be a treetop walk, maybe not a little percentage as high as what the cable car will offer, but it will give you an elevated experience to enhance your everyday. So you could walk among the trees, walk among the treetop of the forest. I will not bore you with all the little details. What I would ask you is to visit our YouTube channel, to like, subscribe, so every time we post an update, you will be aware of what is going on and you can share it with your friends and be excited. Why be excited? Because Sanctuary will be the first of its kind in Dominica. I bias maybe, but in the Caribbean. Yeah, it will be truly unique. And it will be a piece of the puzzle that Honorable Minister McIntyre mentioned earlier. It will be just a small part of what Laudat, the Valley, is going to offer. It will be a piece of the puzzle. When you put it all together, us and you and the cable car, everything else that nature put already, that it will be unsurpassed. What does this mean for you, the residents of the Valley? We're just building it. If you don't come on board with us as partners, it will not succeed. We're in your home, so you have first dibs. Is that the best way to say it? We are here for you tonight to know that you have the first opportunity, and we want you to be our partners. It is going to represent a wealth of opportunity for you. Our guests will need high-quality restaurants capable of accommodating 5-star hotel guests for dining outside of the resort. This is just one example. Think of the many things. And if I recall, one of our directors at the groundbreaking ceremony, he said that he challenges the residents of the Valley to think outside the box. And I again heard the Honorable Minister say the same words here this evening. Think about outside the box on how you can transform what we're doing into an even greater tourism product. Once operations of the resort begins, I don't have to say that we expect our labor force, everything to come first here from Laudat. The farmers, the people who transport our guests, everything first should come from here. So we are ready to begin our partnership with you. We are especially concerned with the farmers and the potential employees who will come from you. The management hopes to draw on your expertise and your love for your home to truly resonate with those who will stay at the resort. No one can make them feel more at home than you. So we wish to encourage and urge you to take ownership in this marvelous venture, and in so doing, to prepare yourself to be actively engaged and a part of the resounding success that Sanctuary Rainforest is poised to to become. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Hippolyte. Let me support your biasness and say that the best sanctuary will be first in Laudat, then Dominica, and the best in the Caribbean. I'll now call on Ms. Brown to do her presentation on the tourism packages in the Rosa Valley.
Good evening. I shall await my audiovisual assistance. Oh, here we are. Action. Honorable Irving McIntyre, Parliamentary Representative, Roseau Valley Constituency. Honorable Denise Charles Pemberton, Minister for Tourism. Other honorable members of Cabinet. My thing just stopped. We went blank. Miss Lisa Valmont, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Tourism. Dr. Curlson George, Vice President, Laudat Village Improvement Committee and other members, Chair of the Trafalgar Village Council, Mr. Randall Gliège, Project Manager, Cable Car Project, Dr. Colin McIntyre, Project Manager, Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, Ms. Janice Hippolyte, Administrative Director, Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, tourism community groups, community stakeholders, constituents of the Roseau Valley constituency, members of the media, other invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. That was long, and this is the last time we're going to hear it, but I am Jose, and this evening, we're going to do things a little bit differently. I'm not just going to be talking to you, you need to talk back to me. Can we agree that we're going to do that? Sure. Oi, yes, we are going to do that. Now, I want to start by first saying thanks to the Honorable Minister and thanks to PS Valmont for having me here in Dominica. I've been here since November. I've been here a lot more than I've been home in the last five months. I think they think that I might have defected by now. And I want to say that I am totally jealous of everything that you have here. I drive around this island as if I'm constantly on a sightseeing mission with all the cars zooming past me because I'm driving a little bit too slow, because I'm like, why do you have that? And why do you have that? And why don't I have any of this at home? So you are spoiled for choice. And we're going to figure out how we're going to work together to make sure that all the choice that you have becomes the choice for the guests so that you can all make a little bit of money from this tourism thing. So you have to promise me that you're going to participate in my little shindig today. Next slide. So first of all, congratulations. According to TripAdvisor, 5 of the top 10 attractions in Dominica sits right here in the Roseau Valley. It's 5 of 10 and 6 of 12, to be quite honest, because if we get to number 12 is Tikwenglo Show. So you have everything that everybody wants. And what we want to make sure is that the Roseau Valley as a whole is recognized as a valley. Because even though you have these 5 things that are separate, unless I look at the location, I don't necessarily know that that's Roseau Valley. If I go into TripAdvisor and look for Roseau Valley is 36 out of 96 attractions in Dominica. It has 5 of the top 10, but the valley itself is not recognized as a place. It is sitting down at number 36. So we need to make wrong things right. As I said, we are going to do this a little bit differently. I'm going to ask some interesting questions. Parliamentary representatives might close an ear or so if you don't. So let's talk. We're going to talk about Dominica, the Roseau Valley, next slide, and even more. All right. That long distance communication has thrown off my little thing here, so 1 second. My first question to you is this. what does Dominica mean to you? I'm not talking Dominica tourism, just Dominica. What is Dominica? What does Dominica mean to you? How do you describe it? Home. What else? It definitely is. Home, where the grass is greener. What else?
Best in the world.
Best in the world at what?
Best air, best water, and vegetables.
I'm going to dispute best water and give that to British Columbia, because I've had their glacier water, and it's top notch. I'm gonna give that to them. But best air. Will I get some to take with me when I'm leaving here this evening?
Sure, you got well tonight. Well, you have to take a walk sometimes together because that's.
All right, let's make a date, and I will come and walk with you specifically to taste Laudat. I am here until April the 10th, so let's make it happen. Yes.
Yeah, sure. It's possible.
Yes. So the best of everything, because you're showing off now. So best air, best water, best everything. What else? What does Dominica mean to you? Warm people, best people, friendly people. Anything else? Is that what it means to you? Paradise, it's your heart. When other people hear the word Dominica, what do you want them to think and feel?
Stress-free.
I will testify to that. I had a friend who came to visit me in February, and she legitimately had an existential crisis once we left the souffre. I saw her looking through the side of the window. I was like, you don't know what to do with yourself, do you? She's like, no, I never expected Dominica. Like, it hit her for 6. It was the quietest I have ever seen her in my entire life. So I agree with you, stress-free. It touches you in your soul. It does. It is almost spiritual, to be quite honest. So what else do you want people to think and feel when they hear Dominica?
It's laid back, quiet, comfortable.
Yes.
Relaxed. You do things
Happy.
at your own pace.
Peace. Pardon?
Safe.
Safe. Oh, that's a big one. Yes, safe. Safe, peace, free, all those things. Now, for me, yes?
Because I am aware that I've experienced that some of the visitors, when they come and you speak to them, go so gently and nicely, they're afraid because they haven't experienced.
They're not accustomed to the good life.
Are you trying to connect? So.
I agree with that. When you're not accustomed to things, it can take a while to get accustomed to it. Yes?
It's like he said, I'm a tour guide and taxi driver.
Mm-hmm.
So I bring people all over the Caribbean. I'm sorry, all over the Caribbean. And they're so happy at the fact that they can just be happy. Because I took them to the border everywhere. And the best expression of Dominica, just to meet the people.
I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. Now, Dominica is a small island, but it is not little. I come from a little island. This island is not little. There's something to do in every corner of Dominica. So I want you to tell me, within all of this bounty and majesty that you have across your entire island, what exactly do you say makes the road? Don't tell me about I want to hear about the other things. I know you have all the big things. What makes Roseau Valley special and unique? Pardon? The resilience of? You got to talk to me, darling. I can't hear you. He said the people are too nice. Yes, please. Yes?
Okay, I think in the valley we have a plethora of attractions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start at the bottom. We have the hot waters, spas, etc. You go over to Trafalgar, you have the waterfalls and hot water also. Then you come up the valley. Oh, before you go there, let's go to Mount Prosper. There are lots of agriculture
agriculture thing where you can visit people on the farm, you know, doing the day-to-day activities in the agriculture. The agricultural sector, Dominica, you know, some people refer to it as the breadbasket of the Roseau Valley, if not Dominica. Okay, then you come up the valley, you get to, before you even get to Laudat, you have the Midland Falls where you enjoy something totally different. Freshwater lake, the boiling lake, Tito Gorge. I'm afraid Tito Gorge is becoming overpopular, if I may say so, for to us. And there are other things I would like to say, but one thing I want to make out, I want to point out to everybody here tonight. They keep saying that Laudat is in the valley. That's not correct. Yeah. Laudat is on top of the valley. Okay, so let's start making, Minister Charles, let's start making that differentiation. Just like Mount Prosper is not in the valley. Understand? So we have a lot of other things. You can go to the boiling lake. Now we're going to have a ride. Then you can walk. And then the most important thing is the warmth of the people in the area. I think I've said enough. Good night.
I want to hear the rest of that resilience answer through the microphone, please. Don't shake your head so. Come on. The young lady in the Dominican Nature Island t-shirt.
I think compared to all the other areas in the country, we have the resilience. Due to Hurricane Maria, we were like top village that bounced back from the hurricane. So with all our trees being brown, with all our trees being broken, we became green in about 6 months, maybe even less. So that's why I refer to Laudat as resilient.
I get that.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, well, to extend especially on what you said, we were like one of the first community to restore our water supply, and it's like we had this. We have this togetherness, which I would really like to emphasize here at this point, that we should really continue that, you know, because it was really nice that after Maria, I mean, what really happened that we all could have our water restored, I mean, almost immediately. And although it was, you know, it was, but because I was one of the individuals who went up there, and the president, Albert, and it was a good thing. Although the people were more together, you see them bathing in the stream and doing their laundry and all of that. And as soon as everybody got back their water, well, everybody went back to, you know, their own thing. But I believe we should continue this closeness and this in this community.
Okay. Now, we're going to talk more tourism. Since you already started talking tourism, we're going to talk tourism a little bit more. Before I say that, before we start there, I want to say 3 things about myself, right? I have been working in tourism for over 25 years. Some of everything. Name it, I've done it. I will never in my life be financially rich because I like to travel too much. So an airport hates to see me coming. I just go. And I love my country the same way that you love your country. Right? The 3 of these things might not make any sense when I say them right now, but as we go through this, you'll understand what I mean.
But excuse me.
Yes, please.
You haven't said raise home and raise it.
You don't understand. I thought it was easy to understand. Proud Bajan right here. That's right. That's right. Now, those 3 things are important because it means that every time I'm looking at something to do with tourism, I have to look at it through 3 different lenses. The first instance, I have to look at it as a tourism practitioner, the business aspect of it, right? The next time I look at it, I have to look at it as if I'm the traveler. How do I want to experience this thing that is here? And the third time, I can look at it as a local. Hey, what you taking away from me that I can't have anymore? And these 3 things do not always align. But the important thing is that we have to understand how each is, what the benefits of each component is. So I am asking you, everything we talk about, let's look at it in many different ways. It's not just always a clear-cut answer. Anything we're building, anything we're developing, we got to look at a very, very broad and much larger picture. So if I ask you about tourism in the Caribbean, give me the 3 islands that you think about when I say Caribbean tourism. That's not Dominica. St. Lucia, Antigua, Jamaica. So we have 4 in the mix. You don't need to put me in I don't need favors. So we think St. Lucia, Jamaica, Antigua. What do we think about Jamaica? Oh, Lord. Reggae music, the not so safe thing, as somebody just said, the food. What else?
Bobsled team.
Jamaica got a bobsled team. When we think St. Lucia, what do we think? Pardon? The piton? The night, pardon? Who? Huh? Oh, I am so confused. No, what else? When you think tourism in those islands, what do you think? You think Grosillet, you think what else? You think Creole, you think music. Pardon?
The pitons.
The piton. What else? All right, Antigua, what do you think? Antigua used to be my first love.
Why?
The minister and the PS told me that before I'm done this project, it needs to not be my first love. And I need to confess that it is no longer my first love. But let us continue, yes?
Whilst we boast of 365 rivers.
Oh, they got the beaches.
Yeah, Antigua is 365 beaches.
And I want to say I believe that that's true as well.
I'm not sure that's true.
I believe it.
Yeah?
I believe it. Just because of how they're built. They have a lot of little jagged edges, and the way they count it is that every water in a jagged edge is a beach.
Yeah, we have 365 rivers too, especially it is raining a lot.
Yes. So we take a look at those 3 islands, and I want you to look at it this way, right? Right now, Roseau Valley is home to cruise tourism. Let's not mess around with that particular piece of information, right? It's direct path from the cruise ships. The easiest place to come is Roseau Valley. I'm not saying that they shouldn't come. I'm saying it's easy, so it's a lot easier for the cruise guests to get here than it is, to drive an hour, because y'all are big, to drive an hour and go to other places. You have an international airport coming. And as I said, I've been here since November, and I've had this conversation several times with a lot of different people who don't understand why you need an airport, or who don't understand what the benefit of an airport is. And I've had to say, are you serious? Have you looked at St. Vincent? If you are following Caribbean tourism and you question why you need an international airport in Dominica and what benefit it's going to bring, or how fast it can increase your tourism numbers, I ask you to look at St. Vincent. The ECCB on their website tracks tourism statistics for the OECS countries. And if you watch the tourism arrival long stay numbers, St. Vincent opened that airport in, I want to say, just pre-COVID, 2019, so they got hit with COVID, so it took them a little while to bounce back and get everything back in line. Go and look at the numbers for yourself, and look at the tremendous growth that they've had. Now, a lot of their tourism goes on to the Grenadines, but you know what? All your tourism staying on this one mainland of you. So what you're going to get, maybe unfair to say, is going to be significantly better than how it translates to them in terms of money trickling all the way down to everybody in every area of this island. So my hard question for you is, you have all the things, well, you have all the big things. What are you missing? What are you missing in the Roseau Valley?
Local input.
Well, we're having that right now, so don't worry. Tell people, yeah, what else? Whose responsibility is it to tell people about it? There you go. That's right. Yours, right? And we'll get to that. Everything here is a partnership. The responsibility of everything working is about synergy. And we're going to talk about how we work on that, right? But what else are you missing?
Coordination.
Coordination.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I think besides everyone doing their own thing, although tourism is everybody's business, but I believe we need to be a little bit more together on that. Coordinate the affairs, if we can.
Do you believe that, as we looked at that first slide, right, top 5 attractions are here, which means that the vast majority of the traffic comes through here. How far down do you think that those tourism dollars trickle currently to you? And I'm asking that question as a tourist to your island. I've been on several tours, official tours, through this area. I have never stopped at anything that is not an attraction. So the money comes in, it goes to the attraction, and it leaves. So all of you who are here, it's like drive-by tourism. Hi, take 2 pictures and gone. So that's what you are missing, right? It's drive-by tourism, and that's not good for anybody. Because then what will happen is in those 3 things, the 3 frames of mind that I said you need to think about this in, is that when you start to look at this as a local, then you can't see how any of this benefits you. Because all you see is tour buses passing in, out, and in between, and nothing stops for you. But on the other side of that, you need to do something to make them stop. It's not going to magically appear, right? So, as I said, there is, on both sides of this, everybody has a responsibility. It is not the government's responsibility only, and it's not this is about synergy and how we make things work together. So the focus of tourism has always been changing. Way back when I was a lass and at university, we used to talk about the service economy. And the service economy was, when they come, you want to smile, shake their hands, make sure everybody feels warm and welcome. And then we got tired of that. And we went to something called the experience economy. And we create all of these words and all of these things to say this is what tourism is at this particular point in time. This is the era and the time that we are in for tourism. They had something else in between there, but I don't really remember what it is. But right now, we are in something called modern luxury travel experiences. So, next slide. When you hear that phrase. Next slide, please. Thank you kindly. What does modern luxury travel look like? When you hear those words, tell me what you think about. You think expensive? You think a lot of money? And you think that because the word luxury is sitting in there, right? When you look at that phrase, does that phrase remotely say Roseau Valley? That looks like a phrase that says, we're going by sanctuary and leave. No, that's exactly what it says, right? That's exactly what it looks like. You want to know what it really means? If the guys will give me the next slide. It's about authenticity. For those of you who are chronically online like me, you would hear people talk about, oh, you're rich. But rich not meaning wealthy. Rich meaning love and family and friendships and connections. And in this instance, that is exactly what luxury means. Luxury is not about perfection. It is not about the fancy hotel with all the accoutrements and everything else. It is not about that. It is about being in tune with nature. It is about being in tune with the community. It is about eating like a local. It is about doing all of those things safely. And it is not, anything in there is not about price. It doesn't matter if it is the cheapest thing. It doesn't matter if it is the most expensive thing. What it is about authenticity. Back in November, Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association had a conference in Miami that I went to, chief. For 3 whole days, we sat down and we spoke about authenticity and how you use authenticity to make money, pretty much. And what we, early on, from the very first meeting, or the very first session that we had, it was agreed that we are not new to this, we are true to this. Caribbean tourism has always been based on authenticity. So the rest of the world now is trying to build something in a backyard to create something that feels real. They're trying to create all of these things when, because we don't necessarily have all the resources easy for us, we've had to make do. So let's say somebody comes to your place and you don't have what they want. And let's say, I want fresh river water. You don't have fresh river water. You know the first thing that you're going to say? I know a man. I know a man that I could get the fresh river water from. And we always know the next person to make the thing happen. And the authenticity in that experience is that then you have now put them in tune with the community at a different level. You have now made a partnership and a relationship with somebody else in your neighborhood or in your community. You have taken the tourism dollars into somebody else's pocket. And organically, we've had trickle and flow of the money because we always know a man or know a woman or know somebody that know how to do the things that we need to get done. So now the world is in our wheelhouse. Everybody wants authenticity, and we kind of have it by default. There's one other thing that has been brought up to me a couple of times over the course of time that I was here. And the comment has been made that Dominica is slow, it is behind the times. And my response to that is, no, this is one time that I will say that you are right where you need to be. And take it from a big tourism island person, because I come from a tourism island. If you look at the islands that you spoke about earlier, your Jamaicas, your St. Lucias, your Antiguas, can you take a look and see that everything that you still have in totality, in its natural form, we no longer have? We grew fast and for a long time, and now I bet you if we could turn back the hands of time and get back some of the things that we gave up, we probably would. And here you are with everything fresh off the boat, untouched, unspoiled, with a unique competitive advantage. The first time I came to Dominica in January last year, I left saying, oh my God, when that airport is built, I am sorry for the rest of us. Because it is my absolute firm belief that what you are able to put together as an island, none of us can honestly compete with. So I rue the day that the airport opens as a Bajan. As a person working here, I'm like, oh yes, let me do this. So what we're going to do is to look a little bit more at this authenticity, because we want to understand the types of people that we get and the way that we put everything together, right? Next slide. So there's a tourist and there's a traveler. And authenticity to each category of people is going to be real different because their needs are different. What they want out of a vacation is different. So easily, the tourist is the person who just wants to post pretty pictures on Instagram and TikTok. They're coming to check things off of a list and say, I went there because somebody else said I should go there. Check box, check box, check box. They're not necessarily interested in coming to talk to you and having a long conversation about anything or learning anything. This is an easy exercise to cross things off of. The traveler is the one, like me, who will talk to you for hours and hours and hours about all of your business. Who wants to eat in everybody's backyard? You will get both of these. And the reason that I want to put this here is because you need to identify when people come which one they are. Because once you can identify what they need, then you can tailor maybe the way you speak to them, maybe the things you talk to them about and the places that you take them, so that then the experience becomes authentic to them. And it's not just something generic that, okay, everybody who comes here, I'm going to do these 5 things. I'm just going to keep doing these 5 things because everybody does not want the same thing. Next, please. So in modern luxury travel, there are 5 C's. And before we talk about those 5 C's, I want to make this statement. Tourism is oftentimes called a double-edged sword. The same tourism that will make you a lot of money is the same tourism that might make you lose a little bit of culture, a little bit of heritage, a little bit of everything. And it's about balance. Now, we want to understand, so let me take that back. But I want to say that in today's world, we are at the mercy of social media. That erodes everything much faster than the actual tourism. Everybody's becoming the same. Everybody watch the same videos, they do the same things, they have the same bucket list, and in the bucket list, they have the same mini bucket list within each bucket list. When they go to somewhere, they want to do the absolute same things. And that takes our culture and our heritage and everything away much faster. But in this particular situation, because we are in an era of authenticity being the most important thing that people are traveling for, tourism is now how we preserve. Because if you want to learn about my food, I get to keep cooking all of my grown provisions. I get to keep cooking in a coal pot. I get to keep doing all of those things because that's what you want. So how do we use tourism now to make sure that you hold on to everything that currently makes you the best at what you have? And don't necessarily look at it, tourism is bad. Tourism right now is going to be the saving grace for a lot of things, a lot of old practices and a lot of old habits, all the traditions from before. This is the perfect time in tourism history for you to whip them out because that is exactly what the traveler wants. So if we're talking about culture, right? Culture is an immersion in local customs, traditions, heritage, and fostering a deeper connection with the destination. Do not be afraid to teach your traditions. Do not be afraid to educate your guests on how to do certain things. Don't. And remember I said I like to travel a lot? This is where the examples start to come in. And again, chronically online people, you listen and you don't judge. Just know that I go a lot of places, all right? Let's do this. So for example, I went to Vietnam in Hanoi, and I needed to go into a church, a religious place. But you can't wear shorts. Whereas people would keep a lot of noise, they set up a lady right next door with some wraps that you could go and get a wrap your pants to go into the religious institution because you can't go in otherwise. Sometimes as tourism practitioners, we believe that the guest is always right, but that's the point because you have to protect fiercely what is yours. And for them, their religion is that important. So put on the wrap, buy it for 5 baht or whatever it is that we bought it for, make some money on the side, and we go in, and everybody wins. I get my excursion, and I maintain tradition, right? Now, I want to contrast that to something else because in the preservation of culture and heritage, sometimes we can make culture and heritage very performative, which makes it feel like, we don't necessarily want that. And if you ever, I like a lot of Trevor Noah, and South African comedian guy, and he has a bit where he talks about going on vacation and being in a house with another black man in the corner, and the man is looking at him saying, "Why are you here? This is not an activity for us." And it's called, poverty porn. I don't want any mic, but that's what they call it, right? And I remember being in Kenya and doing the Masai Mara tribe. So the tribe that jumps, and you gotta hop. I can't jump, my ups is like this amount. But anyways, we jump in and we jump in. And at first, I was like, oh, this is cool. But then it got to a certain part where they took you inside of the hut. And I honestly felt this is not right in my soul. We have passed the threshold where this is you giving me your heritage to where it is me almost ridiculing your heritage and your customs. So when we are preserving these things, we want to make sure that we don't cross that line. We don't want to put our people in a position where it is, oh, we're just here for the picture with the person. So think about that when we're planning these things, right? Now, the next thing we're looking at is cuisine. And this is exquisite culinary offerings from street food to haute cuisine, highlighting local flavors and premium ingredients. And what you have is definitely premium ingredients. And that's exactly what we need to be highlighting. I went to Peru. I went to Cusco, to be exact. Cusco is where Machu Picchu is and all the things. And at first, people used to tell me that your airport is far and everything is far. I was like, millions of people line up every day to go up to Machu Picchu and drive around a mountain like this to get to the top. So if they can do it there, they can do it here. Now, Peru and some of those other South American countries is where quinoa comes from. You drive the side of the road and the quinoa just growing like bush. So, and like you, because you're so high up, and the rivers and all the minerals and all the things in the food, it just tastes different. It didn't matter what it was, it just tasted different. What you need to do is to hold on to that, show it off. You don't necessarily need to be, you know, everybody don't need a pasta with a white sauce or a red sauce or those types of things. Take your food and be proud of it. Because if I could take home everything you have, my supermarket bill would be a whole lot cheaper than it is at home because we don't grow as much as you do. So do not feel as if you need to change inherently who you are to be accepted by others. They're coming to visit your country. Again, education. Cuisine, again, comes into cooking classes. When I was in Thailand, we went to learn how to cook pad thai in a tuk-tuk by a market with all the things that look real weird. And then I couldn't find the lady's house because we had to walk down 2 alleys, around a corner, walk through an apartment building that was somebody else's apartment building to get to her apartment building just to learn how to cook pad thai. It was the best pad thai I ever eat though. And it was not cheap either. Because for an authentic experience, the amount of money that people are willing to pay to do something that they cannot do at home or follow a recipe and get done, it is crazy. Another thing here that I realize is that you guys are always in search of perfection. And perfection might cost $100,000, but the experience only costs $20. And I want you to take hold of the experience. Work towards your perfection, but don't let perfection stop you from taking the journey to everything, yeah? Now, community, we're talking about engaging with locals, learning their stories, and contributing to communities that welcome travelers. So, back again, I went to Peru, and I had a guide who drove with me for the entire time. We drove forever to sleep on the banks of a lake so that I could see the sunrise the next morning. It is the equivalent of you letting me sleep on the rocks by Trafalgar Falls to wake up just to see how the sun looks when it hits the waterfall. I paid a ridiculous amount of money to have this experience, and as cold as you think up here, Peru is freezing. So we had one little tent boat as big as 4 chairs. For me and my friend, we had a hot water bottle, 2 sleeping bags, and 2 blankets on top of it. But you know what? That guy that took us came along with a driver and 2 cooks. And every meal we had was in a pot over a open fire and local food. It was fresh food the entire time. Would I do it again? I absolutely would. So somebody find me a river that we could put some tents by and figure out how to get people to do a 1 pot and figure out how we're going to do it. Because I'm telling you these things because I want you, everybody told you to think outside the box. But if your box is here, you don't know what to think is on the outside. So I want to give you some of my outside things to put in the box so that you can understand what outside of the box might look like for you. Now, content, and that's actually me. And that picture was taken by Mashi at T2 Gorge, and it was the most fabulous thing ever, because content is about making sure that you can share all your memories, whether it's with your friends, your community, online, wherever it is. And I put that picture because Normally on social media, you see, you know when they go to Bali and got the swing and the dresses, and it's like, whoo, and the guys are like this with the phone, and they come back. That was him. If you see my video reel from T2 Gorge, I was like, he can make a lot of money doing this. And I wondered to myself, we look at getting young people involved in tourism, and oftentimes we just think, you know, the traditional things, go and work in a restaurant, go and work in a hotel. If you took a bunch of your young ones and get them some iPhone lessons and some Samsung lessons and teach them all the fancy photography on the cell phone, and put them out there to take 1 million pictures of the guests in every place that they are, you would be surprised how much little money, a lot of little money that you can make from photographs. Because I buy a photograph for everything that I do. I went on a raft, they gave me a picture at the end, I bought it. I went up the Banff gondola, they gave me a picture at the end, I bought it. I have a wall of random pictures that I bought, and they're $20 a picture. It's crazy. My vacation money makes me very stupid. So yes, so imagine that you have a lot of people like, I am definitely an exception on the higher side of doing random things, but there are a lot of people like me out there. I am the tourist that you want. So if you can get me, you could get anybody you can get. And then we talk about customization, and this is where the packaging comes in, right? We're tailoring experiences to individual preferences and desires with personalized itineraries, bespoke services, and exclusive experiences. And this is why we are here. Traditionally, we talk about packages, and the packages are driven by the hotels or the tour operators. Somebody else is building something that sends people into you for a little drive-by tourism. Do we agree with that? Correct. So what we want to do is to change the way that we're doing that. The Honorable Minister said earlier that we'll be looking at things like family experiences, you know, whether it's wellness, health, all those things. But one of the biggest things that we're looking at is packaging in a more dynamic way by location. So if you want Roseau Valley to be the base of somebody's vacation, how do we put that stuff together? And that is, we're gonna put one of them together in here tonight real fast, quick, so y'all could go enjoy your Friday night. But, next slide, please. But I wanted to add my own C. I want to add C number 6 for creativity. Listen and do not judge. Do we get it? Before I came here, I walked around my house and took pictures of things that I took back home. I did not put them all on this slide for fear of judgment and feeling shame in public. But I want to show you this because the biggest opportunity you guys are missing is merch. I walk around this island and I could buy the same t-shirt at every vendor. It look the same, it feel the same, I can't find nothing else. My friend was here last week and her daughter asked for one thing. She asked for, Mommy, can I have a mug with a straw inside of it? Where do I find a mug with a straw inside of it that has Dominica on it? I asked all the vendors and nobody knows. Oh, we don't have that. A mug with a straw with Dominica on the side. You understand what I'm saying? So let me talk to you about some of the nonsense that I take home when I'm on vacation. I am the person who travels with 150 pounds of luggage. The airlines like to see me coming. There's enough extra baggage fees. And my backpack adds another 40 to 50 pounds. There's 200 pounds of luggage I come home with. I travel for 4 weeks at a time. Let me just put that out there. It's not 2 weeks on bus. And I don't travel to shop. The only thing I buy is souvenirs. So, in the top right-hand corner, well, left-hand corner over there, you see that little car in the middle? That car is made out of drink cans. Coke cans, 7-Ups, whatever. I bought that in Cape Town. I don't want to tell you how much I paid for the Coke can car, but I thought the art was beautiful. And I walked around and looked at about 200 ones to find the one that I liked the best. Because they sold me a story about reduce, reuse, and recycle. And making sure that the garbage is not going into the garbage. And that they've taken the garbage and made art. So now the art is sitting in my house, okay? Now, don't mind, I take home a lot of carvings and things. So the stick in the middle, and I think that that's important for here, is I went gorilla trekking in Rwanda. which is real high, 10,000 plus feet above sea level, can't breathe. I come from a flat island, had to take an asthma inhaler, all the things because I couldn't breathe. But at the bottom of the mountain is a man carving walking sticks. And there's a gorilla on every link in that walking stick. I did not walk with that walking stick. I bought that walking stick to bring home though. And it breaks down into 3 parts. Very easy, it screws into 3 parts so that you can pack it neatly and put it in your bag. Now imagine if whenever we open back up Boiling Lake, you have some sticks with carvings and the artisans doing some things that could roll up into 3 parts and people could take home. I always start thinking about other things, right? As I said, I was on a dirty river water raft thing there in Thailand, and I bought the picture. Because you know why? It was a little boy about 14 years old that took the picture. I mean, he cut me, I was like, oh, there. And I gave him my money. I am the tourist that you want, I tell you no lie. In the bottom left, in the bottom corner with the pretty glasses, those came from Cartagena in Colombia. It was stained glass. A stained glass mug that had Cartagena on the front. I did not buy 2, I bought 4. Do you understand how heavy each one of those things is? That is a whole other piece of luggage I had to buy to bring home because I wanted 4 stained glass mugs for the express purpose of when my friends come over that we could each have a mug and sit down and have a drink once a year. Once a year. I have probably used them 4 times in about 6 years. 4 times. But they're very pretty and they were sparkling in the store and I could see the light reflecting off the stained glass and I was sold. Now next to them is wooden cups from Hanoi in Vietnam. I want you to know that each one of those has a different scenery. I have a family of 6 because I told the guy, hi, I want 6 different things that show me all of Vietnam. And they pulled out every single cup in that store to find me 6 different sceneries so that I could go home with a collection. Imagine now, whoever finds me the river that we can put the tents by or whatever it is, and somebody carves me a calabash bowl, and then a night at the calabash bowl, we do a paint and eat a warm pot, and I could paint my own calabash bowl that I could take home and say, oh my God, remember when I painted this sitting next to the river in Dominica? Where else are we gonna do that? So I want you to think about the things. Next to that is a small jar of sugar from Mauritius. I did not want a small jar of sugar from Mauritius. I wanted 8 bottles of sugar from Mauritius. But I was already at 175 pounds by the time I got to Mauritius. I had no space. Mauritius is an island like us. Mauritius is multiply Dominica by 6 and you get Mauritius. It is a sugarcane island off the coast of Africa. Same history, same everything. So that is where, you know, indentured servitude. Yes, please? I done it right now. So we have 8 layers of sugar. Because I couldn't have it, they have different flavors that they've packed on top of each other. I went to Soma Garden the other day and I said to Vaughn, I said, Vaughn, could you just make me a jar with about 5 different jams and jellies? Because if I need to take home something small, I could take it home. I could eat it layer by layer, or I could dip the spoon in it and have a thing of flavors. And then I did not get to do the 7-colored hike in the land of 7 colors in Peru. So I went to the airport and I bought that thing that cost me legitimately $100 US because I didn't get to do the hike. So when I saw the man in town who makes the whale tails, I asked him to build me something as big as that because I wanted Dominica whale tail with colors and not just brown woods. So all of this is me telling you, think outside the box. Put together a t-shirt combination for up here that has all the things that you have. Put together what you need to have. But since I talk a lot, I'm going to leave y'all here right now. But that's it. That's it from me. It wasn't it from me, but it will be it from me. And then thank you very much for your time. O'Neill from the DDA. She currently arranges my schedule. So you can tell her. You tell her when you need me and I will be here.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. I actually was about to say what he said. It's a lot of information,
Yes.
and it seems important information. So we might really need you to come back, maybe a few times, to break it down, that we could actually put these things into practice. Yes? So right now we will open the floor to questions. We'll try to do it in an orderly manner. I think there's a microphone somewhere at the back, so we will use the microphone. Clyde.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, good evening. My name is Mr. Khaled. So, if you notice from the past, in terms of